Hey, how you doing? This is Martin, owner trainer Fuller Fitness, and the goal of this video is for kids, parents, guardians, um, preteens, maybe even teenagers, um, male and female kids and teenagers, because I believe that as we got to a certain age, because I'm 36, so from when I was a teenager, and hopefully it's better for teenagers now. But especially for me being an owner and trainer of Fuller Fitness. But the goal is to um, hopefully help the teenager understand, help the parent understand, help the guardian understand, help the grandparent understand, grandparents, parents, and everyone who needs the information. So specifically, it's for teenagers, kids and teenagers. Teenagers are still pretty much kids. Um, and just the fact that when I was 11 years old, before the football season started, I didn't have uh, much available to me as far as equipment is concerned. So I just did a lot of the old school exercises and workouts that many of us did based off of what we didn't necessarily have. So just trying to play basketball, playing football with friends, doing push ups, doing sit ups, possibly doing squats, trying to do one hand push ups based off of the technique that we know about back then in the early 90s. For those of us that are old enough, um, then all of a sudden, and I was only 100 and maybe 18 pounds, which is fine. I wasn't trying to gain weight. I didn't really know the difference between muscle and fat just yet. Then my aunt, my mom's sister, went and got some equipment, a piece of equipment, a big piece of equipment called Total Gym that was out at that time. I think that was 1997 for those of us that are old enough. That was around at that point, and possibly still around. And I used that just out of boredom. Um, Again, for me, I was interested in anything that was fun, especially if it was likely to help me get faster and or stronger. And I used um, the Total Gym that my aunt had at the time. I can't remember the uh, the brand. I don't think it was XLS. It might have been before that. But every day I would get on it and try to figure out all this different stuff that I can do on it. And also the fact that at that time, not really paying attention to commercials all that much in terms of learning, but just saying, "Ooh, I wonder if I can do certain things on that piece of equipment." So she got the equipment, and I would get on it. And with a total gym, for those who might not know, everything you can do on there is your own body weight. So if you're doing pull ups, you're doing pull ups with your own body weight, whatever your weight is at the time. At the time for me, it was 118 at 11 years old. Um, and I got on that my aunt's total gym pretty much every day, depending on where I was. So if I was, she lived with my grandmother, so any chance I had to go to my grandmother's house, run into my aunt's room and get on her total gym, chest press, turn around, try to do pull ups. Um, I might have done some tricep extensions, even though I didn't know what tricep extensions were at the time. So anything I can do to try to work the muscles that I knew about at the time, that's what I tried to do. So then all of a sudden, football season started. I was still 118. All of a sudden, 2, 4, maybe 5 weeks later, all of a sudden we get on the scale before a football game. We get on the scale. We might have got on the scale before practice before that game, which I believe was a Friday. So get on and got on the scale, and all of a sudden I'm 142 pounds. And again, not knowing the difference between muscle and fat, it's just like, how the hell did that happen? How, why? Did I do something wrong? So that was, for those who know football season, so that's August when football season starts. You're going through practice and tryouts, and the season starts in September, I think, always after Labor Day. So, um, going to um, my physical that I believe every kid has to take, I think, probably before school starts or somewhere close to it. Go to a physical, uh, as every kid I believe is supposed to if they can. Go to the physical and they, take your height, whatever your height is. I might have been like 5'6" at the time, maybe 5'5". Uh, Checking my height, my blood pressure, and my weight. I think that was pretty much everything that they did, depending on what the results are, and they don't really do anything else from what I remember from them doing 25 years ago. Um, and when they took my height and weight, um, my mother asked the doctor, and she's like, "Is he heavy for his age?" With the 142 or whatever it was that I weighed at the time. And the doctor said, technically, yes, according to his BMI. But you said he's working out and playing football, working out every day, playing football, going to football practice every day, playing games on Sunday. What am I supposed to tell him? Because I wasn't like a really fat kid. I was just heavy and had all this muscle, especially from the workouts I had just started doing like 4 weeks before. So I gained 20 pounds in like 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, from a lot of stuff that I was eating, and then on top of the workouts that I was doing. And again, this was me at 11 years old. Um, so my mom is just like, "Is he heavy for his age?" And the doctor's just like, "Yeah, but if he's playing football and working out, he's a big guy, he's still growing. There's nothing I can really tell him. He's not lazy. He's not eating a bunch of junk," which wasn't entirely true, but I was still very active. So the point of me telling you guys this, for those of you that are still watching, is just the fact that just because a person is heavy, and again, it's for the ladies too, especially the ladies. And the reason why I say especially the ladies, because it seems like it whenever a female steps on the scale and they see a certain number, for some reason the female seems to think, let's say, again, I was 11 years old at the time, so let's say an 11-year-old female gets on the scale and she sees, let's say, 122 pounds. And for whatever the reason, when the female gets on the scale, it's just like, "I'm 122 pounds of fat." I'm not sure where that came from. I know there's a lot of magazines, especially from when I was growing up, and even worse before my time. The magazines and the commercials and the workout videos. When I was growing up, it was abs are still, buns are still, legs are still, and whatever else might have been out at the time. But I specifically remember those and being frustrated about them, even before I knew any better. Just it's like, what is this? 10 abs are still, buns are still, 10-minute abs, and all this other stuff that I saw growing up. So again, the moral of this video is just that just because you see a certain number, and again, it's specifically for the younger kids who don't know yet, but for those who are an adult, who's an adult and don't know that yet, we all have a certain amount of muscle, and depending on what your lifestyle is, it's probably easier for some of us compared to others to figure out um, how much muscle we actually have, and then trying to figure out what to do about this having a certain amount of fat. Depending on what your weight is, um, you don't necessarily have to lose 30 or 40 pounds, male or female, to try to look and feel your best. There's a possibility, as a woman, um, you might, maybe lose only 10 pounds and get down to 150, maybe 140, depending on what your, almost regardless of what your height is, and feel better than you ever felt, and possibly look better than you've ever looked without losing 30 pounds just because your doctor or whoever else told you about a BMI and you should lose a bunch of weight based on the BMI. The BMI doesn't dictate health. I forgot who came up with the BMI, but I'm hoping I never meet the person if he or she is still alive, and it's probably a he. Um, so again, the goal for the video is just to help you understand, for those who don't know, specifically kids, but adults also, if you're still watching, we all have muscle, and it's a matter of trying to figure out how much muscle you have, and then depending on how much fat you have and where the fat is, um, probably the stomach, but the stomach, the hips, the butt, the thighs, wherever the fat is for each specific person that's watching, figure out where your majority of your fat is, and let's figure out what to do to get over it, to overcome it, which might not necessarily mean you need to lose a lot of weight. Fat takes up a lot of space depending on how much you have compared to muscle. If you have more muscle, you'll have more energy, you'll feel better, you'll look better, you'll perform better, you'll sleep better. Like everything's better if you have more muscle. And then if you have able to maintain, if not increase muscle and decrease fat, depending on how much you currently have and possibly need at this point in your life, if you're 10, if you're 21, if you're 46, whatever your age is, having living a certain lifestyle to help you get the body that you think you want and may actually need to help you look and feel your best. All right, so hopefully I helped you out at least a little bit. Feel free to leave a comment, or you can I can leave a link to my Facebook and Instagram, so you can direct message me there if you have serious questions, to figure out how to have certain questions answered if you have more than what I try to provide in this video. But again, I hope this helped, and I hope if there are people who were insecure or frustrated, again, I hope that this helped. And if it didn't help this time, I hope that at some time it will, in terms of getting more information that works best for you, not based off of whatever the popularity is of 2021, 2022, or whatever. Not based on popularity, but what is true and what actually works for you. Because just because it works for your sister don't mean it's gonna work for you. Just because it works for some of your relatives don't mean it's gonna work for you. Just because it works for people who are the same age as you don't mean it's gonna work for you. So whatever works for you, figure that out. And if you're not able to do that, let me, hopefully someone can. And as owner and trainer, I'm definitely looking forward to it. This is Martin, owner and trainer, Fuller Fitness. Take care.